Good evening then. Welcome to the last round of the GT3 Sprint Series. This is Season 2. This is Round 6 and this is the season finale at Interlagos. As you can see by, we're just looking at, let's get some information on the screen for you. This is Lloyd Reed, and it's very wet. The sun has just come out actually, so it is brightening up, but we are supposed to have a guaranteed wet race, which you might have gathered by the title of the stream. So it's going to be treacherous conditions for all of the guys this evening. We should have hopefully up to 20 guys in tonight. We've only got 14 in the server at the moment, which is very similar to last week. But yes, so this should be predominantly, as we see Lloyd Reed and was that Samuel Wibberley getting together in qualifying, so they're not getting off to the best of starts there. Two, let's say, contenders for the podium positions this evening. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me, as always. But yeah, so that's Samuel Wibberley and Lloyd Reed wasting maybe 4 minutes, let's call it 3 minutes of the qualifying. And we know it's really important to get out and get going quite early in qualifying, usually to get the tyres up to temperature. However, with it being wet, it will be very interesting to see if that is still the case. It'll be interesting to see if tyre temperature plays a factor in the wet or whether new tyres are quicker. So we'll keep an eye on the guys and see if anybody is diving in the pits midway through. See, there's quite a lot of standing water at the moment. Let's have a quick look at the top of the standings. It's currently Wesley Beekhouse. He'll be hoping to have a better evening. He's been a little bit off the pace and out of contention for the podium positions in the last few race meetings. He'll be hoping to be much more competitive tonight. Just over 10.5 minutes to go. Quite tight at the top at the moment between Wesley Beekhouse and Adam Foster. So Adam Foster in the Mercedes. Let's see if we can get some sector times on the screen. It's a bit potluck whether these are accurate, but it's better than nothing. There will be 2 races this evening, so we'll have this first qualifying session for race 1, and then we will go into another qualifying session for race 2. Good exit there for Adam Foster, so we'll just jump on board as he comes across the line to see if he improves. Tom Lyons is actually on pole now. He's just snatched that 1:43.888. So nearly half a second down for Adam Foster, so he stays 3rd position. So we've actually got Tom Lyons in pole as it stands in the Aston Martin. Very good lap from Tom there. Looks like he's a little bit down on this lap. 0.160 of a second. As you see in the bottom right-hand corner, the orange box around the split time, that is his first sector. So he's off on his first sector. Looked like Wesley in front of him, just running wide there. So I wonder if this will be an invalid lap for Wesley. Jonathan Howler's just crossing the line, not improving. He's just done a 1:44.390, so very close for 3rd, 4th and 5th position, all within a couple of tenths of a second. And the leaders quite close as well, and Lloyd Reid just pops it into 3rd position. Splits that gap between the top 2 and the top 6, so currently the top 7 are split by 6/10, so in these conditions that's actually really quite close. Keep an eye on the sector time, see who might be improving. Tom Lyons crosses the line but does not improve on that lap. You can see in the tower, that is the distance to the leader. So you see Wesley Beekhouse 0.1 behind, then Reid 0.2 behind the leader, then 3, and then Jonathan Howless 0.5. So Albert Serigili actually slotting in that position as well. So it really is very close between 3rd and 7th position at the moment. Really, really tight for that front pack. So far though, Tom Lyons is hanging on to that lead. Let's have a look at Tom Lyons, see if he's on a lap. Looks like he's only managing to match his sectors. Check Wesley, he's half a second down. Lloyd Reid looks like he's on a reasonable lap. Currently sits 3rd. A little bit slow in the 1st sector, so let's watch him across the line and see if he gets anywhere near that 1:43.8. He does get close. That takes him up to 2nd position, but still 1 point, or let's call that a 10th. He's a 10th down. Oh, sorry, no, he's been instantly knocked down because, sorry, he nearly matched Tom Lyons, but Sam Wibberley has taken pole position there, so he's smashed that previous best. Well, he didn't smash it, but he's only 200ths in front, and then Lloyd Reid was a further 10th down, so actually very, very close at the front. Wesley Beekhouse on a 44 flat that time around. He's unable to improve, so he's gone back to the pits. There's still 5 minutes 50 seconds to go. Lloyd Reid just finished sector 1. Keep an eye for when people might be improving. Albert Serigili just finished sector 2 and he crosses the line. Doesn't improve on his 7th. There's a big gap between 7th and 8th. You can see on the tower there, Albert Serigili 0.669 behind the leader, and then Jonathan Lowe 1.3 off the lead. So the top 7 are really in a league of their own as it stands. Tom Lyons is in the pits, so is Wesley Beekhouse, so maybe some last minute changes. It'll be interesting to see if they get back out to try and compete. Lloyd Reid coming round, looks like he's on a good lap. Reasonable 1st sector. Let's see if he improves on his 3rd position. Doesn't improve, but I think that was an improvement. No, that was an improvement. Did not improve on that lap. He remains a 10th down. He will get a couple more chances, depending on how much fuel these guys have put in. Samuel Wibberley looks like he'll be due to finish this lap and no more, because the green spanner means they do need to take fuel, so I think that means there's a lap of fuel to go. Lloyd Reid not improving on that sector 1, half a second down on his best. Samuel Wibberley very close to matching it, so that'll be a lap in contention. Samuel Foster a couple of tenths down, but still, if they put together the rest of these laps, they could improve. Albert Serigili doesn't improve once again. Adam Foster had a good middle sector. Let's watch him across the line, see if he improves on his current 5th position. We'll have to find a couple of tenths in this last sector if he wants to improve on that 5th position. Oh, he improves on his time, but look how close the top 5 positions are. Only 0.17 of a second between them. Somebody's gone off on in the background there. So this is going to be all to play for in these final stages of qualifying. 2 minutes 50 to go. So Samuel Whibley leaves the pits again, but not sure he's going to have time to put in another lap. So Tom Lyons stays in the pits. I think that may be his effort over. Lloyd Reid, 3rd position at the moment. Then Wesley Beekhouse also in the pits, choosing not to go out once again. He's currently sitting 4th. And then Adam Foster in the Mercedes. So these guys very, very close for the top 5. Let's see if any of those names switch around. Who's finished 2nd sector? Jonathan Howless crosses the line, but does not improve on his position. A couple of fast sectors. Looks like Lloyd Reid's had a good 1st sector. Adam Foster a little bit slower. Adam Foster's had a reasonable middle sector. Well, it looks like he won't really be improving on this lap. He will get another go, as will most of the guys that are crossing the line now. Oh, and Lloyd Reid, after that good 1st sector, is on the grass, so that absolutely won't be an improvement. Samuel Whibley crosses the line to start a flying lap. Aaron Sterrett crosses the line. Oh, finishes sector 2, sorry. He looks like he's improving a little bit, but no, that middle sector much, much slower. Jonathan Howless has pitted as well. So only 45 seconds to go. That's 45 seconds for all the cars to cross the line and have a final attempt. So Tom Lyons is in the pits. Wesley Beekhouse is in the pits. Jonathan Howless in the pits. Jonathan Lowe also in the pits. So we only have Samuel Whibley, and he's facing the wrong way, so he won't be improving. That's game over for him. Lloyd Reid currently in 3rd position, but on this final lap and low on fuel, so this will be a push lap for Lloyd Reid. Adam Foster still out there circulating. He's not had a great 1st or 2nd sector. This last sector really short. You can see they're coming through the kind of final corner now and only just completing sector 2. So I don't think Adam Foster will improve. We'll stay on board with Adam Foster, and then we'll flick back to Lloyd Reid. So here comes Adam Foster across the line. Does he improve on 4th, 5th position? He does not. Let's jump back to Lloyd Reid, and he's on the grass. So all of the guys about finished. Aaron Sterrett still out there. He's a little bit off the pace, but there is a big gap to these guys down in 9th and 10th. So he may improve. Let's stick with Aaron, see what he can come up with here. Currently 9th. He does not improve on that 9th position then. So only 14 qualifying. We'll quickly run through the starting order. So Samuel Wibberley in the Ferrari on pole position from Tom Lyons in the Aston Martin in second position. Then Lloyd Reed in third in the Lamborghini, followed by Wesley Beekhouse
go to the grid for a race start.
in the Mercedes. Then Adam Foster and Jonathan Howlers 5th and 6th on the grid. Albert Seragili and Jonathan Lowe in 8th. Aaron Sterrett in 9th position, followed by Bart Tonks in 10th. Disappointing qualifying for Sam Wooldridge in 11th position, and then Marco Koeman in 12th. Jeff DeWitt in 13th, and Yuri van Dongen complete the final row of McLarens, and they will be starting 13th and 14th. Hello to Gabriel in the chat once again. Good to see you. We haven't seen you on the track for a few weeks now, though, so hopefully that will be sorted soon, and you can join in and boost these numbers. Going to be a tricky race, this. So the rain has stopped, it looks like, although the wipers are still going, so we can't see rain falling on our screens, but that would suggest that there is still some rain falling, and as we can see, we jump on board and there is rain falling. So the track conditions potentially worsening. This is on board with Tom Lyons, and then Lloyd Reed in third position. He's going to have a great view of this battle down into turn 1, if you can get it in gear, that is. So that's then the start of race 1. Samuel Wibberley in the red Ferrari. Tom Lyons in the green Aston Martin. Then Lloyd Reed in the yellow Lamborghini. Wesley Beekhouse in the silver Mercedes. Then Adam Foster in the yellow Mercedes, followed by Jonathan Howless in the other yellow Lamborghini. Let's see how these guys line up across the line. Who gets the best start? Who's got the best reactions? And who's bravest down into turn 1 in these very tricky conditions?
Green flag, green flag.
So green, green, green. It looks like Samuel Wibberley's got a great start in the Ferrari. He's middle of the road and he's dominating into turn 1. Tom Lyons in second, and that's Lloyd Reed going quite deep on the inside, managing to hold position from Wesley Beekhouse. Wesley Beekhouse battling right on the back of Lloyd, trying to take that third position early on here. Samuel Wibberley's away at the front, and that is a battle there between Jonathan Howless and Adam Foster. Adam Foster covers the inside line. Got Jonathan on the outside, but Jonathan thinks better of it this time around. Might have a better chance up the hill. That's Albert Seragili as well, who's lining up there. We've got Lloyd Reed lining up Tom Lyons for a move. Nothing changing as it stands. Really clean start so far from all of the guys. It looks like it was clean up and down the field. Hopefully we will have a tower. There we go. Right, we do have a tower. Apologies for that one. Needed to refresh. So we see Samuel Wibberley leads away, nearly a 2-second gap at the start of this race. He's absolutely romping away at the front, and then we've got this battle between Tom Lyons and Lloyd Reed for second and third, and then a little bit further back Wesley Beekhouse in a bit of clear air there, and then Adam Foster has got Jonathan Howless for company. Jonathan Howless right on the back of Adam Foster. So we go down into turn 1, down the box. Really cautious on the throttle. Looks tricky to drive this. having to fade out the throttle on the exit there, and a bit of, I think there's a bit of a dab on the brakes from Jonathan there. Who's that in the background shaping up? Was that Bart Tonks looking for a way past Jonathan Lowe? Not sure if it was one of the Mercedes. Sam Lowe in the lone Mustang. Well, as we say that, that looked like the McLaren trying to shape up there, but we'll switch back to the nearer the front of the field. The leader still Samuel Whibley, maintaining that 1.7 second lead from Tom Lyons. And then Lloyd Reed in third position. Starting to settle down a little bit here. Top three positions look reasonably well spread out. And then I think the battle is going to be with Wesley Beekhouse in fourth position, followed by Adam Foster and Jonathan Howless. They look like the most likely to pull a move as it stands. Really tricky conditions for all the guys here. Looks like everyone's managed to stay on the circuit. Sam Wooldridge 11th position still, and the two McLarens of Jeff DeWitt and Yuri van Dongen still at the rear of the field. Let's try and get a gap to the next so we can see our deltas on the left hand side. We can keep an eye on that, see if there's any close battles. Adam Foster lining up, weaving around in the slipstream of Wesley Beekhouse, trying to get Wesley to look in the mirrors. He's right up the back of that Mercedes, right under the rear wing, really trying to provide a distraction to Wesley. See him jinking to the inside. Oh, and that looks like Wesley got the rear out of shape there, and he has. He's gone well deep. The rear of the car rotating on the way in, and he's had to really back out of that, and that's lost 2 positions. So Adam Foster and Jonathan Howless go past Wesley Beekhouse out after that promising start and promising qualifying session, and now he's got Albert Seragili for company. So a disaster for not a disaster, but not the best start for Wesley in race 1 here. Gap at the front is coming down. It's down to 1.2, 1.3 now. So Samuel Whibley not going to have it all his way. See the yellow car at the front of this pack is 4th position, and then we've got over a second gaps between the top 3. Albert Seragili looking at the back of Wesley there, trying to line something up. He's going to try and do a bit of a cutback and try and get a bit of an offset run there, and that's also Jonathan Howless right behind Adam Foster. Good little battle here. See how close he is here. The rain light flashing on that Mercedes. Adam doesn't defend. Jonathan takes the opportunity, but that looked like Adam kind of turned in there. Jonathan had gone for the inside. We'll have to see it in a replay or something, but it looked like he was at least some part alongside of Adam Foster, but Adam Foster shutting the door. And Jonathan Howless down to 8th position now, and he'll be lucky to not lose more positions. That has allowed Adam a little bit of breathing room in 4th position. And it's certainly... Oh, is that Wesley Beekhouse? I thought he went wide there, but it's trying to take the wet line maybe, looking for the grip on the outside of the corners. If you're wondering why the cars do this, well, there's 2 reasons. If it's a highly rubbered in circuit and there's a lot of rubber on the racing line, it becomes very slippery when wet. If you imagine putting some rubber down on the floor and then spraying some water on it, it's very slippery. And also the tarmac gets, it loses its abrasion, so it smooths off on the racing line, so there's less mechanical grip there, less abrasion, and that is Albert Serigili going for the move past Wesley Beekhouse, but Wesley defends on the outside. Has he got enough to stay up the inside? Albert gives him room, and it's good racing. Nearly loses the rear of that Mercedes, so he's just not having a great day in that Mercedes for Wesley. Albert Serigili moving up into 6th position. That's good progress from Albert. I think he started 7th, so up to 5th for Albert. Gap up to 2 seconds at the front, so Samuel Whibley is putting a couple of quick laps here. It does look as if Lloyd Reed is catching Tom Lyons, so in these conditions a very small mistake could be the difference here between any of these positions. Certainly when the gap is less than a second, things can change very, very quickly. Wesley Beekhouse still staying with the back of Albert. He'll be definitely looking to get back up the order. Nothing to lose really for Wesley. It's Aaron Sterrett right on the back of Sam Wooldridge, or Sam Wooldridge on the back of Aaron. Looked like Aaron went for a move there, but then went deep, so interesting to see if this battle develops, see who is the aggressor here. And that's Jonathan Lowe. Sorry, he was really close, but he's dropped away. Not sure what happened there. As we switch back, it looks like the Mercedes has gone deep as Sam managed to get it stopped just about. Saw the car squirming under braking, really unsettled. All of these cars, you can see the way the cars are moving. It's not a smooth transition. The car's constantly battling with the front to rear balance. And where has Tom Lyons gone? So Tom Lyons has been off. We have missed a mistake from the 2nd place man, Tom Lyons. So we were watching that battle, and Tom Lyons has got it all wrong. He's gone from 2nd all the way down to 7th position. That's really let Samuel off the hook. He's now got a gap of 5.6 seconds back to Lloyd Reed, and then Lloyd Reed's now got a gap of 2.6 to Adam Foster. And Adam Foster a lead of slightly smaller, 1.6 back to Albert. Yellow flag, who's that? Jonathan Howless. After a promising start, Jonathan Howless down to 11th position. We saw him have that incident earlier on with Adam Foster, and it looks like he's got either made a mistake or got involved with another incident further down. That's Yuri van Dongen and Marco Koeman battling for 12th position. So the McLaren managing to benefit here, moving up the field. Bart Tonks has had a DNF, so he's retired. So he will not be finishing this race. Again, this battle between Aaron and Sam Wooldridge does continue. Trying to keep my eye on the deltas. You can see the smallest deltas. That's why we'll switch to those cars. Get involved in the chat, you know, if you want to watch any of these particular drivers, or if you just want to know what's going on with any of them. I'll try and do my best to catch up with them. We will have, I think we'll have Josh Copeland in here for race 2, potentially. And we've also got some interesting things going on, but we will talk about that during the next qualifying session, because there's a race on at the moment. 8 minutes to go. Samuel Whibley leads from Lloyd Reed. So Samuel Whibley started on pole, and he's continued to hold on to that first position for the entirety of this race so far. 7 minutes 50 to go. He's followed by Lloyd Reed in the Lamborghini, who's managed to take that second position from Tom Lyons, who had a spin or an incident earlier on that we did miss. He's got Adam Foster in third position in the Mercedes. Quite a comfortable gap for him. Albert Sergili having a good race after a reasonably average qualifying. Just seeing Adam Foster making a bit of a mistake there, so that's invited Albert Sergili a little bit closer to the back of that Mercedes, so we'll keep an eye on these couple of battles, because we've then got Jonathan Lowe not far behind, who's going to have Tom Lyons for company soon, because we know Tom is able to lap fairly quickly. Jonathan Lowe doing well from, again, I want to say the back end of the top 10 in the Ford Mustang, but having a better race, managing to keep it on the black stuff or the brown stuff tonight. And benefiting. Right, somebody else off. Who is it? Wesley Beekhouse has gone back to the pit, so I think he's had an incident and it just gets worse for Wesley. Saw his name tumbling down the order, so I think he's been off and maybe had big damage and decided to quit back to the pits. But Adam Foster let off the hook a little bit here, because Albert Sergili was catching up. Still pretty close, but not as close as it once was. Tom Lyons then really, really close to the back of Jonathan Lowe. Let's have a look at this Aston Martin down the straight, see what the straight line speed is like behind this Ford Mustang. Looks like he's got a slight edge in top speed. He's slightly closing the gap, but then we're soon into the braking zone. Makes up a car length on the brakes. Really cautious on the throttle. That Ford Mustang looks like he's gone wide there, so he got a bit early on the throttle, but he's just about maintained it. Tom will be looking to move to the inside here to try and put Jonathan under some pressure. Oh, and that's one of the Mercedes. This is Jeff DeWitt in front of Jonathan Howler, so that's Yuri van Dongen. Looked like he was coming out of the pits there. And he is actually 82 seconds down, so yeah, it looks like Yuri van Dongen having issues. Battle for... oh, once again I look at the timetable and Tom Lyons just slides underneath Jonathan Lowe, so maybe you can explain that one to me. It looked like he just gave him the place, but maybe he got it wrong on the brakes or something. I didn't quite see that one, as per usual. Maybe he thought he couldn't keep up with the pace. 4 minutes 10 to go, or maybe he thinks he can give him a bit of a tow on to the back of Albert Sergili, who's not far behind Adam Foster, really. 1.3 seconds behind. The gaps at the front are pretty massive, so we've got Samuel Whibley and then Lloyd Reed is Jonathan Howlers. Has he gone off? Looks like he'd had some contacts there. Saw the message on the screen, so maybe some lag issues there. Marco Koeman is also a DNF, so we're dropping like flies in this race one. But yeah, back to the front of the gaps, 5 seconds to second position, and then another 6 seconds back to Adam Foster, and then that's where the battles start to heat up. Roughly between 1 and 2 seconds between all of these guys, all the way down to Jonathan Lowe, and then Sam Waldridge is quite a long way off the back of those. He's 8.5 seconds off the back of Jonathan. So let's keep an eye on these guys, see who can capitalise. Really, Adam Foster the one to lose, and Jonathan Lowe the one who stands to gain here. Lee Wibbly in the chat, a bit of a shout out to his son Samuel. Yeah, because he's absolutely dominating at the moment. Currently 4.5 seconds in front of Lloyd Reid, and I dare say he's cruising because he's led from the start of this race. A dominating drive from Samuel. So we saw Tom Lyons get past Jonathan Lowe a lap ago. Can he do anything about Albert Serigili? Albert's wide in turn 1. Tom gets a much better apex. Looked like he backed out of that when he saw Albert going really tight, but he probably could have kept it planted. But he'll be doing the same to Albert to try and get him offline and try and get him defending, compromising his own line. Looked like Adam Foster had a bit of an issue there. Up ahead, see Jonathan Lowe lurking in the background, hoping to pick up the pieces when something happens. 1 minute 20 to go. It's still... Oh, and there's contact from Tom Lyons. He got deep on the brakes there. It looked like they both kind of outbrake themselves, and Tom just goes into the back of the Lamborghini, but that's really invited Jonathan Lowe into this battle. 1 minute to go, so they'll cross the line, I think, for the end of this lap, and then it will be just one more lap until the end, and this is really closing up with only 55 seconds to go. Adam Foster looks like he's safely away in third position for that final podium place. But fourth position, oh, and a big twitch from the Lamborghini. I don't think that was contact. I think that was Albert Serigili getting all out of shape on the power up the hill, and he's lost the position to Tom Lyons. Be interesting to see if he thinks about having a go back at Tom Lyons. So we're looking back at Albert here. He's really, really close. He goes to the inside. Oh, and there's a bit of contact. He's going to go straight on there. Albert Serigili's going to go wide, and he does. He's off the circuit. So a bit of contact, not exactly what you want, and he joins without losing too much time, but looked like he just misjudged the braking there and just caught the corner rear quarter of that Aston Martin. He's not given up either. He's still stayed with the back of Tom, determined to try and get that position back, even though we probably know Tom Lyons has got very good pace, but with that damage you can see the left rear quarter stoved in on the Aston Martin, so maybe some reduction in downforce for that Aston Martin. Samuel Wibbly continues on, still lead by 4 seconds from Lloyd Reid. All looks pretty safe for those guys, and Adam Foster safely away. He's not leaving these guys though, so he does need to keep it on the road. Looks like this Aston Martin's twitching around a little bit. Jonathan Lowe. Yellow flag, who's that? Hopefully none of the leaders. Not sure who that was. There was a yellow flag briefly flashed up, and we missed Samuel there. Samuel across the line then takes victory in race 1, followed by Lloyd Reid, P2. Adam Foster comes across the line to take the final podium position in P3, and then Tom Lyons, Albert Serigili and Jonathan Lowe complete the top 6, and Sam Wooldridge a little bit further behind manages to hold on to 7th position. Then Aaron Sterrett on his own in 8th, and then 5 seconds behind after a nightmare race for Jonathan. Previous race winner in quite a few of the races, Jonathan having a bit of a nightmare. Then Jeff DeWitt finishes 10th position, and I think that's what Jonathan thinks of that. He's lost all wheels. Yeah. And then Yuri van Dongen comes across to complete the field, so 11th position for Yuri, and then Marco Wesley and Bart Tonks DNF in race 1. Alright, stick with us and we will have qualifying 2. So we will have a separate qualifying session prior to race 2. And hopefully we'll have 14 cars that finish the second race, because we had 3 not finish that race, so just 11 finishes in that race. But very close battles towards the end, especially for that mid-pack. So some good racing, and I'm sure the top 3 will be hoping for a closer race in race 2. So stick with us and we will be back in a couple of minutes. Welcome back then. We're just waiting for the server to roll over into qualifying for race 2. What have you been up to? Did you have a good weekend? Anybody been doing any real racing? I know a few of the guys have. Hopefully we are joined by Josh in race 2. The last time I heard from him, he was... where was he? He was in Nando's. So, you know, I don't imagine Josh sticks around too long in Nando's. I'm sure he's in and out. We've got something hopefully quite interesting going on, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. So I will be in Barcelona for the final round of the GT World Challenge Endurance Championship. So you've probably seen this around. It's actually the let's say the title sponsor of Assetto Corsa Competizione. So I'm going to be there, and I'm going to try something rather interesting, or I think it's interesting for a nerd. But we're going to try and live stream from the grid. So we're going to do a bit of a grid walk. Are you going to check in for that? Are you going to tune in? I will set a video or schedule a video for this. But the idea is I'm going to be a one-man band. So I'm going to be there with a mirrorless camera with microphones on it. I'll have a backpack with my MacBook, which should be streaming OBS. And I'll have wires everywhere. But I'll also have my headset on that I currently use, the one I'm wearing now. So it's a microphone and headset, like a commentary headset. And I'll have this on. And the idea is I'm going to walk around and I can offer some kind of commentary. I don't know what I'll be saying because I don't really know. There's so many drivers in this championship that it's going to be very difficult to actually pick them all out. But there are a few kind of sim racers. So I know James Baldwin is meant to be, or has raced in previous meetings. I can't seem to find the entry list for Barcelona for Circuit de Catalunya. But I'm hoping the entry list will be as big as it has been throughout the year. So we'll be able to do a bit of a grid walk. And you'll be able to chat. I'll have the chat on my phone mounted to the camera, so it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting if it does work. I think that'll be the most interesting thing if it does actually work, to be honest, because we're banking on there being a decent mobile signal. So it's probably not going to be the smoothest stream in the world. I'm not sure we'll get the most bandwidth. But we're going to give it a go and see if it's possible to kind of live stream from the grid, totally independent of any other kind of infrastructure. And we'll see how it goes. So you should get good. Obviously, I could just do it with my phone. I could just record the grid and talk over a phone, but you know, where's the fun in that? Let's try and do it a little bit more special and make it almost semi-professional. No, it's not going to be professional. Absolutely not. But we're there anyway because we're going to be doing... Well, I'm going to be doing some videos for the channel. So we thought, because we have access to the grid before the race, we'll do a little live stream and see how that goes. And if it all falls down and fails, it doesn't really matter. We'll still have plenty of footage that we'll probably edit together for Sunday evening or Monday. It's the 3 hours of Barcelona. So it's a 3-hour endurance race, GT World Challenge, all GT3 cars, and it should be pretty good. So 8 minutes of qualifying to go. Is Samuel going to dominate once again in the Ferrari? No other Ferraris in this race, so quite curious that nobody's chosen to go with the Ferrari. I know Samuel's been doing very well for nearly all of the rounds, really. He's been somewhere there or thereabouts. Certainly come on stronger towards the end of the season. It'll be interesting to check in with the championship, because I know Jonathan Howless was quite dominant in the mid part of the season. They all come round to finish Sector 1. Let's try and get some qualifying information on the screen. Ignore the sectors for now. This is their first flying lap, so it's always an improvement. So as it stands, the fastest Sector 1 is Samuel Whibley on a 27.4. Jonathan Howless 27.7. So Jonathan Howless second quickest as it stands. Samuel Whibley comes round to finish Sector 2 with a 53.2, and that's equalled by Lloyd Reed, but Lloyd Reed's first sector was much slower, so Samuel will come he will come around to complete this lap. He will take pole position for now. Let's see who was quick in the second sector. So Lloyd Reed had a really good second sector and ends up only 5/10 behind. Then Albert Serigili crosses the line, briefly takes third, but then Adam Foster immediately snatches that away. And then Tom Lyons currently fifth. There you go, 009 behind. Well, it should say 009. It's not displaying correct on the tower. See if we can improve that. No, it's only showing us the gaps to the leader, unfortunately. But I can confidently tell you that the gap between Albert Serigili and Tom Lyons is 009, which is the race number for one of the Aston Martin hypercars, the Valkyrie, in the World Endurance Championship. They're on the 007 and the 009. Rear brakes looking like they're on fire. So Samuel Whibley on a 43.6 first time around. It looks like he's going to improve on that. Look at that, he's 0.082 up in both sectors. The live, whatever delta that is at the bottom, is going haywire once again. Let's see if he improved on a 43.6. 43.437, so he does improve. 4.5 minutes just over to go. Jonathan Howless currently second position. As I say that, Adam Foster crosses the line and takes second position for now. 0.3 down on Samuel. So a good lap from Adam Foster. I was about to say that was a really good second sector, but or first sector, but not so good. Down into that second complex at the end of the straight, he's gone deep, and he'll have to abort that lap. So can anybody capitalise on this? So Adam Foster currently second. Can he improve? He looks like he's on a slow lap this time around, and he's bailed on that one. Jonathan Howless just completed a lap, so he's currently sitting in third. Yellow flag very difficult to know where to even start to look for that. And for some reason we've lost the liveries of Albert Seragili. And imagine we may have lost, yeah, we've lost all the custom liveries, unfortunately. That is a shame. I know we're having many issues with the server, even though this is a full release game, apparently. Lots of issues with the online multiplayer. So Samuel, we know, has not going to improve on that lap. Let's watch Adam Foster across the line. Adam Foster's had a bit of a nightmare as well. So yeah, he's way off, so he's not going to improve. And Jonathan Howless has also had a bit of a howler. So all of the top runners pushing to try and find that last bit of lap time. Coming unstuck. Jonathan looks like he's winding up for another go here. 2.5 minutes to go. Only 12 in the server, unfortunately. Sam Wooldridge currently last. Let's see if he improves on this lap. I'm sure he will. Pole position time of 1:43.437. Sam comes across the line and it's a 1:45.7, so still well off the pace. Does improve up to 9th position, but he's still 2.3 off the times. Yeah, he's struggling. Is Sam. He needs another 3 letters at the end of his name, and maybe he'll be as quick as this guy. Who's not having it all his way though. He's the guys are putting quick laps early on. Adam Foster in the pits. So he's bailed. He will not improve now because he's not going to be able to be out of the pits and do a warm-up lap before the timer ticks over. Jonathan Howless had a good first sector, but he looks like he's bailed on this lap. And looks like unless he continues, he's not going to make it round to the line. He's currently in the middle of sector 1. He's got 57 seconds to try and get back. Looks like he will just make it in time because this is the second to last corner coming up now. So yeah, he'll comfortably make it for a final attempt. So we'll keep our eyes on Jonathan Howless. Samuel Wibberley is also doing another lap. That looks like somebody at the side of the circuit a little bit further down. They've gone back to pits. That was Lloyd Reed. So after that promising first race, he's back to the pits. Yuri van Dongen also goes back to the pits. See, Jonathan Howless crosses the line with just under 20 seconds to go. So he'll be trying to put in a good lap this time around. Samuel, and he's bailed. So Jonathan Howless not feeling that lap at all, so he will not improve on 3rd position. Hopefully he won't lose too many more positions. Samuel Wibberley is on a lap. Currently sits 0.3 of a second ahead of Adam Foster, who's in the pits. And was that Samuel just bailing on that lap? It is. So they're all bailing. We've only got Tom Lyons, and he's bailed as well. Sam Wooldridge still out there, but not improving. So after that early flourish, so Jonathan Howless stays second, but that early flourish, all of the guys, let's start that again, all of the guys bailing on these laps. I wonder if it's just circuit conditions or tyres, because none of them are finding any pace, and they all jump back to the pits. Just Marco Koeman out there at the moment. Not sure about what the raindrop effects are on this game. It looks terrible. It looks like a milky substance has been splattered all over the cars, so I think they may as well just remove that effect, certainly from these kind of distances. So Marco Koeman comes across the or around the final few turns. Can he improve on 12th? He cannot. 47.1, so really 3.5 off the pace for Marco. He'll be looking to improve on that in the race.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
So we just wait for that timer to roll over, and the cars will head down to the grid for the final race of Season 2 of the GT3 Sprint Series. Really has been a good, close, hard-fought championship. It's been a shame that the numbers have dropped slightly in the last couple of rounds, but even so, some really close battles. Not sure why Samuel just jumped back to the pits there. Hopefully no issues for Samuel. Hopefully he'll be able to go back onto the grid, which he does. So that's good to see. So yeah, final race of this Season 2. I'm unsure what the plan is at the moment for our Tuesday evening race nights. Please get involved. Head over to the Discord. The link is in the description. Jump over, or just jump in, ask any questions you might need to ask, and there'll be somebody almost immediately will answer you. We're pretty welcoming bunch. We like to
has started.
race pretty fair and pretty sensibly most of the time. We may have Josh jump in for the second race. He may have to jump in midway through, but for now let's concentrate on this final race, and for the final time all the cars line up to try and judge the start, try and get a jump on those around them, and hopefully lead into turn 1. That is the green flag then for the last time. Samuel off to another good start. He's got Jonathan Howless very close behind him. Adam Foster on the outside, nearly has Tom Lyons in the back of him. So Jonathan Howless takes second position from Adam Foster in turn 1 and into turn 2, but Samuel Whibley leads away at the front once again. Some battles going on further down. That's Lloyd Reed and Albert Serigili. Albert Serigili on the outside, Lloyd Reed defending, and he's got Sam Wooldridge on the inside trying to improve from that pretty dismal qualifying session, trying to get past Albert into 6th position. Looks pretty settled at the front for now. Looks like somebody's had enough. That's Yuri van Dongen further back in 12th position. A shame for Yuri. Not sure what's going on with the deltas. Feel like we've got another case of some bugs coming into it. It did work okay in the first race, and now appears as if it's had enough. So lap 1, Samuel Whibley leads fairly comfortably from Jonathan Howless in the Lamborghini, and he'll be getting his eyes down, focusing in and hoping not to make any mistakes so he can have a repeat of race 1. Oh, and that's Albert Serigili getting wide and then into the side of Sam Wooldridge. So they're going to be battling side by side then down this long straight. Albert Serigili very, very close. He's gone up the inside, so Sam doesn't defend. He's left the door open for Albert, but Albert can't do him on the brakes. Sam really gone on the brakes there. Jonathan Lowe trying to take advantage of Albert Serigili as well there. Looks like Adam Foster and Tom Lyons getting quite close there. These four look pretty steady at the moment. Looks like these two all-black cars currently the most feisty, and then we've got Jonathan Lowe behind them with Aaron Sterrett right up behind him. Looks like we've got all the livery or custom livery cars all together in a bit of a pack here. Apologies for the Deltas, I'm not really sure what's happening there. I'm trying to refresh them, but it doesn't appear to be working, unfortunately. Jonathan Howler's coming under a bit of pressure here from Adam Foster. Adam Foster really deep on the brakes there. He's gone a little bit wide. You can see him having to really get it slowed down in the middle of the corner in order to actually make the apex of turn 2, and that's allowed Tom Lyons to get a little bit closer to the back of Adam Foster. On board with Tom Lyons then. You can see just how delicate they're having to be on the throttle. A little bit of curb there from Adam. Car always wanting to push on throttle. So really a case of trying to get the front axle to respond, get the car turned, and hope that when you get on the throttle you don't have to get back out of it again. But that's seemingly quite a difficult task in these conditions, and that is Lloyd Reed going quite wide there out of that final turn up the hill. That will cost him some speed through this final sector. Real shame that we don't have proper deltas as Tom tries to go for a move on the back of Adam Foster, because it's very tricky to follow what's actually going on. So yeah, not great. Tom right on the back here then to go to the heli shot. He's got up the inside. There was a slight bit of contact as Tom tries to squeeze Adam Foster to the outside, but Adam Foster does a better job under braking, but that has allowed him to come under a bit of pressure on the exit. Tom will once again be trying to shape up to pull a move on this yellow Mercedes. This is the battle for third position, the final place on the podium. You can see the green numbers on the doors of the cars. That's their current positions. Feel free to shout if you see any close battles on screen, because the data is clearly useless. So we're relying on the old Mark 1 eyeball in order to try and stay on top of these gaps. Let's have a look a little bit further back. So this is Albert Serigili, followed by Jonathan Lowe in the Ford Mustang. These four having a good little battle. Sam Wooldridge continues to lead certainly this battle for the time being. We've got Aaron Sterrett just dropping off the back of these three, and Ooh, and he's late on the brakes there, Jonathan Lowe. And then Jeff DeWitt quite a bit, or not too far behind. He's actually catching Aaron a little bit. Just checking with our leaders because Tom Lyons is still all over the back of Adam Foster. Can he do anything this time around? He goes to the inside, but a bit of a half move. But he has managed to get Adam Foster struggling under brakes. Looks like he's alongside through the fast left. Adam's gone wide, so they're going to be side by side up the hill here. They're maintaining their racing lines, fighting hard here, leaving just enough room for each other. This is good hard racing, and Tom goes round the outside. Can he maintain it round the outside? A little bit of door banging, but nothing too bad. A switchback from Tom, and this is allowing Lloyd Reed to enter this battle for third position. Tom really doing a good job of switching back. Oh, and as he's done a switch back, Adam Foster tried to come back across the racing line, but Tom was already there. So Adam, unable to take his normal racing line, doesn't account for the fact that Tom would be there. And he has gone back to the pits, and he has DNF'd. Sorry, Adam Foster. So Adam Foster just fades across to take his normal racing line and found Tom Lyons was already there, and it sends him into a spin. That is a shame. Be interesting to see if there's any tickets go in for that, but that's certainly what it looked like on the initial impressions. Is that somebody going straight on? No, it's just the way my monitors are set up. Always looks like a car's firing off into the distance. So then Samuel Wibley continues to lead, only 2.1 in front of Jonathan Howless, who's having a much better race in race 2. Then Tom Lyons, after that little incident, maintains third position, but he's got Lloyd Reed hot on his tail for third. Then we've got this battle for Sam Wooldridge, Albert Seragili and Jonathan Lowe really heating up for fourth position, and that's Albert Seragili sideways through the fast right-hander, just got the whole thing in a four-wheel drift. See if he's managing to hold on to that position from Jonathan Lowe, and that is inviting Aaron Sterrett into this battle. Have a quick jump on board with Aaron Sterrett to watch this battle in front. See just how tricky the cars are in these conditions. Oh, and that's Albert Seragili, who's gone wide. He's going to have Jonathan Lowe alongside him through this fast section, so this is going to be really tricky for the guys to know not only control their own cars but give enough room to the others, and Albert's got away with that just. Jonathan Lowe unable to carry the speed through that second left-hander, and Aaron Sterrett good on the brakes, so that's allowed Sam Wooldridge off the hook a little bit. Sam Wooldridge managing to gap by a good kind of 10 car lengths or so. Tom Lyons managing to keep Lloyd Reed behind him for that final podium position. Then we do have this battle between not so much Sam anymore, but certainly Albert, Jonathan Lowe and Aaron Sterrett. This is the battle for 6th, 7th and 8th. And Jonathan Lowe getting really close to the back of Albert's Lamborghini there. Strengths of these cars, different places of the circuit. Certainly looks good on the brakes, does that Mustang. closing up on the back of the Lamborghini, but just not managing to maintain the mid-corner speed. And the traction from that Lamborghini looks very good. Just checking out the front there, because I thought there'd been a change of position, but there has not. Riding on board with Aaron Sterrett, Jonathan Lowe, getting very, very close to the back of Albert once again. Albert's gone wide. He's messed that up. Got too deep on the brakes, could not get the front of the car turned, and that's allowed Jonathan Lowe up into 6th position. And will Aaron have a go on Albert? Oh, and Jonathan Lowe's got wide through that fast sector, and Albert's back up along the inside. Jonathan Lowe, it's off into the wall hard. That's a shame. They just got together on the entry, and Jonathan Lowe spears off to the left-hand side. I felt like that was happening in slow motion. That's such a shame for Jonathan. Aaron Sterrett nearly into the back of Seragili, and Jeff DeWitt come from nowhere in 8th position. He's now back on these two. He's back on terms, and he could, if he plays his card right, be on for a 6th position finish. Just checking with our leaders just to check nothing has kicked off, so Samuel Whibley still leads. Looks about 2 or 3 seconds from Jonathan Howless, and then a good 3 or 4 seconds back to Tom Lyons, and then Lloyd Reed sticking with Tom Lyons, hoping to close in. 5.5 minutes to go. Sam Wooldridge on his own now after that incident, and these two continue the battle, which now has Jeff DeWitt in 8th position. Such a shame for Jonathan Lowe. I think Jonathan Lowe has continued. He will have heavy damage on that Ford Mustang, but fair play to him. He's carried on. Yuri Van Dongen and Adam Foster, the DNFs in this race so far. Marco Koeman can keep Jonathan Lowe behind him for the remainder of this race. Looks like this battle is quite close for 3rd position now. As we said earlier, any little mistake, as we say that, Albert Seragili and Aaron Sterrett fighting hard with just over 4 minutes to go. Looks like Albert just getting deep on the brakes. He's had that happen a few times now, so he's struggling to get the front end of that Lamborghini turned on the brakes, and it just looks like he's locking up or getting into the ABS and just pushing into the corner, and he's got to scrub all the speed off in order to try and keep it on the black stuff. Here Aaron Sterrett changing up early, trying to tame the wheel spin on this McLaren. I think unless there's any mistakes towards the front, can't see there being any big changes other than maybe that battle between Tom and Lloyd Reed, because that is still pretty close. We don't know how close unless we look at it on the cameras. Oh, and Lloyd Reed nearly loses the rear of that Lambo. Does well to just hold it, has to bail out of the throttle. just so he doesn't do a full loop, a full rotation in that car. See how glassy the curbs are there. Not sure the physics or the rain physics on this game are quite as accurate as iRacing. I think iRacing is in a bit of a league of its own when it comes to wet weather physics at the moment. Really very good for wet weather physics. So Albert continues to lead the two McLarens in 6th position. Another couple of minutes have gone. It's now 2 minutes to go as they cross the line. 2 laps to go, and he's deep once again, but he does manage to get to the apex on that occasion. Oh, and then he has a bit of a swapper on the transition, and that has allowed Aaron Sterrett to close on the back of him. Will he go defensive down here? Aaron's making him work for it. Goes to the normal racing line. Albert will be compromised. Aaron should get a better exit, but again in these conditions it's really tricky. If you don't nail the exit, you can take a totally different line, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be getting the run. Some very delicate touches of the throttle pedals required in these conditions. Samuel still looks like he's continuing at the front. Gap's not huge though, and this gap certainly ebbing and flowing. Saw Lloyd Reed have a bit of a moment on the previous lap, but he's straight back on the rear of Tom Lyons' Aston Martin, so the wipers going 100 miles an hour as they cross the line with only 1 lap to go. So this will be the final lap. So Samuel Wibberley goes into turn 1 and 2. This is the final lap. Jonathan Howless in 2nd, and then this battle here. So we'll watch this battle down into turn 4 just to see. We'll check in with the leaders. Yeah, let's watch this battle down into here, because we've seen quite a lot of overtaking manoeuvres, but I don't think Lloyd Reed is close enough. He's quite far back here. We'll watch him through this corner, see if he gets a run. He's got a reasonable run through there. Let's just check in with... Yeah, they don't look that close. So this is the battle for P3 on the podium. You can see the... Oh, and Tom's made a slight mistake on the braking there. The car moving around lots, but not enough for Lloyd to take advantage of it. Quickly check in with Samuel as he's rounding the last sector now, followed by Jonathan, and then these two are going to be fighting all the way to the line, I think. Sorry, Samuel, there we go. So Samuel comes round the last sector across the line to take victory in race 2. So 2 victories from Samuel, a dominating performance this evening, followed by Jonathan Howless, a much better race 2 for him. And then Tom Lyons holds on to 3rd position from Lloyd Reed, who has a decent race in 4th position. And Sam Wooldridge, a better showing from Sam in race 2, comes across the line to finish in 5th position. And then this battle between Albert and we've lost Aaron Sterrett. So Aaron Sterrett has lost out to Jeff DeWitt. Jeff DeWitt takes 7th position, Aaron Sterrett 8th, and Marco Koeman 9th. And then Jonathan Lowe, after that incident earlier on with Albert, I think it was, comes across the line to round up the field. It's a shame for Jonathan as he loses his wheels. A good race 2, a little bit steady in the middle, but it certainly heated up towards the end. Thanks for dropping in with us. Sorry there weren't many competitors this evening. always teeters off towards the end of a championship when everyone realises they can't do anything. But appreciate you stopping by and getting involved in the chat. And as I say, we'll hopefully have something really quite exciting in about a week and a half's time, which will be in Spain. We'll be live streaming from the start grid before the GT World Challenge race, hopefully. That is the plan. So I'll stick up a scheduled stream for you to stick in your bookmarks. And yeah, we'll see how that one goes, but it should be something a little bit different and a little bit fun. But thanks for sticking with us this evening. Next stream probably won't be Sunday because I'm actually away now for about a week and a half. So thanks very much. Keep an eye on the channel to see what streams are planned. Cheers.